Hi there, and welcome to another video series at the Library at Pendrell Vale. I'm here with Jasper, and we're going to be playing his blue painter deck. Say hi, Jasper.
Hello.
So this is the deck. We're going to quickly run through what's going on in it, and then we will be playing a league and hopefully getting another 5-0. Otherwise, it'll be a bit embarrassing. So, talk us through your deck.
So, should we start at the left? That seems like a reasonable place.
In the lands?
Yeah, let's start with the lands. Well, it's an artifact-based combo deck, playing Painted Servant and Grindstone.
So, there you go.
So the land, I mean, it's other than that, it's mono blue. So a bunch of islands with some questionable artwork.
We should probably explain the Painter Servant Grindstone combo to start with.
Yeah, okay. Let's do that. So basically, Painted Servant. Can we see it on screen?
Yep.
Maybe I'm getting some. Yeah. So it's a 1/3 scarecrow that makes everything a color, and what you do is you name the color as it enters the battlefield, and then everything, including cards in library and hand and all that stuff, go that color. Usually, you name blue. We can come on to that in a bit. And then Grindstone puts the top two cards of target player's library into their graveyard. And if the cards share a color, you repeat that, which means that if they're all blue, which they are because of Painted Servant, it just keeps on milling to checking whether they're both blue, which they are, and then it just carries on until the whole deck is in their graveyard.
It's pretty brilliant, isn't it?
It is a great little combo.
And then they draw their top card, and they can't, so they lose the game.
Yeah.
So I think we should talk about not the lands to start with, but kind of the artifact package, how we're going to get out our combo.
Right. So we have a bunch of tutors in form of Whir of Invention and Transmute Artifact and Tezzeret. And one of the reasons, other than the fact that they're tutors, which is obviously strong anyway, but because we play Chalice of the Void, which usually you play for X equals 1, which would prevent us from casting Grindstone, which is also why there are only 2 Grindstones and no other 1-cost cards in the deck. You can tutor. You're able to tutor for a Grindstone through a Chalice.
Okay, so the whole point of the deck, I suppose, is then we stop opponents doing what they're doing with our Force of Wills and our Chalice of the Voids, because Legacy is the format where everything is 1 mana, and if we are stopping their 1 mana spells, then that's great. The downside is we can't get our Grindstones onto the battlefield then, but we're working around that by using Whir of Invention, which we can go and search up a Grindstone for, and we're using Tezzeret, and we're using Transmute Artifact to get around our problems there.
And because they all put the cards straight on the battlefield, no problem with Chalice.
Oh, that's good. So what about these these Trinket Mages and these Thirst for Knowledges?
So Trinket Mage gets artifacts with correct mana cost 1 or less, which means that you have, because you play obviously 4 Chalices, an Engineered Explosives, 2 Grindstones, and a Seat of the Synod, or Synod, or however you say that word, and some Chrome Moxes. So you've got a fair choice of cards that you can tutor for, and often you can get another Chalice, because even say a deck can remove a Chalice and then carry on casting their spells. If you can get another one, that will probably be lights out, because there just aren't that many answers to Chalice. Decks usually have 1 or 2.
So these are our Chalices 5 to 8.
There also are Grindstones 3 till 6.
Okay.
Right? 3, yeah.
Yeah.
And which it gives you a large amount of flexibility when it comes to if you maybe you're playing a matchup where you don't have Chalices in the deck because you've boarded them out, or you haven't played a Chalice for whatever reason. It just allows you to sequence things such that, for example, you might have the option to, because you have Force, you don't need to be putting Chalice down like straight away.
Yeah.
So you might want to tutor for a Grindstone first. that kind of thing. They also Trinket Mage is a pretty solid Grey Ogre, which is relevant when you have Planeswalkers out or you've locked them out with the Chalice or something, and you just want to you know.
Okay, that's good. The Thirst for Knowledge, then, I assume, are a way just to get through our deck, find the combo, and just are lots of value with all our artifacts.
Yeah,
it's our kind of brainstorm, I would guess.
Yeah, it's basically brainstorm. They also, the fact that they're instant and cost 3 goes quite well with Whir of Invention, because that often will also cost 3. So you've got kind of options when you pass the turn.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
So, like, say you want to keep up Whir in case they put a threat in and you need to, I don't know, search up Ratchet Bomber in Staring Bridge, or just find the combo. But if you feel like the combo isn't going to get there, or they play like a Revoker or something, you can just first and get yourself more information and that kind of thing.
So we're more of a kind of mid-range, maybe grindy deck. Possibly not control, because our late game isn't the best. I mean, we've got Jace, but Jace is blue, so we're in a blue deck. We're going to play Jace. So we're kind of in that area. I suppose that leads us into us playing Search Res Canter. Is that more for the long game kind of plan? If it goes to that stage,
it's just a boon to consistency, really. It allows you to dig for the combo and answers in the late game, and just a free upkeep scry every turn, because you can
hello
you can with like, it's because you don't get to run, well, you could run fetches, but it
we can get cards that we don't need off the top of our deck. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And then the lands, they seem like a pretty standard lot. We played the 1 seat, as you've mentioned already, to make the Trinket Mage just a little bit more valuable.
Turn it to a Borderland Ranger, basically.
Yeah. All these lovely islands, which I think are the best arts you can have. M12, best set.
Best set.
And then some soul lands for the kind of the chance when we're doing the early combo. I'm assuming it's not the main plan, because we're only playing 2 grindstones, but we can maybe turn 2 or 3 combo people out with Painter Servant Grindstone.
Yeah, you can turn 2 combo people with, like, only 2 grindstones is the main issue to that, because I mean, in terms of the mana, you can, if you turn 1 Painter and then you either play another soul land or like a land and a Chromox, you can play Grindstone for 1 and have 3 mana left over to activate. So that's a turn 2 kill. Other than that, you were saying it's kind of more of a mid-range strategy, but you do have some reasonably quick kills as well. Like turn 3, if you just go, Island Grindstone, Island Painter Servant, Island combo, like if they don't have any interaction, that is a win.
That sounds good, yeah. And our last card is the Academy Ruins, which is, I think, my favourite land in the whole of Magic.
It's so sweet. It's so good in the grindy matchups. Sometimes you want to hold it to make sure it doesn't get wasteland, but you have lots of other reasonable wasteland targets, so they're not going to be, it won't just be that they're holding onto it because there's nothing to destroy with it. So Academy Ruins just is also gives you essentially a lot of redundancy with, and also combines with Engineered Explosives and Ratchet Bomb to do some pretty fun things.
Okay.
You just basically wrath them over and over again.
I can see that. And the Whirs and the searching little package of five tutors can get us our 2 bridges, which are pretty obvious, useful in Legacy at the moment, with Grizzlebrands and Marit Lages running around. These 2 Spyglasses, similar kind of thing. Stop fast combos, I'm assuming. Sneak attacks. You can name a land, can't you? So Thespian Stage, Planeswalkers, Death Rites, anything that's going to really get in the way. And then the Ratchet Bomb. Aetherval, yes, I can imagine that's been useful to get around the Chalice. And then the Ratchet Bomb and the Engineered Explosives, other good things to get out with the... Well, not out with the Whir for the E, but certainly the Ratchet Bomb. So this takes us to the sideboard. So we've got a bunch of stuff, I assume, that is where we want to be if we're whirring stuff out. Our artifacts here on the right, and the kind of things to stop our bad matchups. So should we go through the bad matchup cards here first?
Yeah. Flusterstorm is obviously good against, and not that Storm is necessarily that bad a match, but it's good against Storm. It's also good against the fair decks where you want to have more interaction, where you obviously it's a cost 1, but with the way the Storm mechanic works, it puts copies on when you cast. So the first copy will get countered by a Chalice, but the other copies won't. So that's why you can play it where you couldn't play something like Spell Pierce or something. And it's just solid for any kind of counter war, and just basically cheap interaction, which is difficult to come by in blue.
Okay, Echoing Truth.
Echoing Truth deals with problematic permanents like Pithing Needle, Revoker.
So it's our catch-all answer, then,
Spyglass,
I'm guessing.
Catch-all answers and stuff. Yeah, pretty much.
Back to basics seems pretty obvious. We're not going to be good against, the deck. How's our lands match up, for instance?
Pretty solid.
Pretty solid. So is this more of a lock Grixis Delver out before they get their true names down?
Yeah, it's good against the Eldrazi decks.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Both the post version and the Stompy version, and it's good against 4-color pile.
Yes, yeah, I can see them with their recurring Colligan's Command at will might be a bit of a problem.
It can be a little bit slow against Grixis Delver,
okay,
but it's still reasonable. Like,
what about the Larwan? Is that for anything in particular, or is that just a kind of a funnel?
It's great against Bug Delver.
Okay.
Just very strong. It bounces pretty much all of, bounces Leovold, bounces Delver, bounces and the various bug value decks like Aluran as well. It bounces Strixes, it bounces, and it just locks them out of playing those cards as well, so it accrues a lot of value. And then you can name blue with Painter Servant and bounce everything, and they can't play any more creatures. And it's actually pretty difficult to answer from the bug deck.
Yes, it doesn't buy to or Fatal Push in certain situations. So that's pretty good. Padine.
Also,
sorry, you want
one more thing about Lawan is that you, against something like Eldrazi, it's pretty much a hard lock if you have a Painter Servant on blue and Lawan.
I'm hoping this comes up. That'd be nice. What about the Padine? This is I like this card.
Padine is surprisingly sweet. I mean, it does cost 4 mana, but it's draws you. You will probably have the highest converted mana cost artifact out, either a bridge or a Painter Servant or something. There aren't that many high cost artifacts in Legacy, and so it just draws you an extra card every turn, protects all your stuff, even against stuff like Abrupt Decay, which you couldn't counter, for example.
This is lovely. So where are we going to bring this in?
And we're going to bring that in against fair grindy decks that have removal for our combo, and that we can anticipate the game going longer against because of the value that it'll accrue.
Okay.
Like decks like, again, Check Pile, decks like Miracles. It's pretty good against Miracles.
So would you say these kind of back to basics down to the Thopter Spy network, which we can talk about, are our kind of fair matchups, cards we need here?
Yeah, although Thopter Spy network also does work against Marit Age decks.
Oh yeah, the big flyers, yeah.
As does Padim is pretty good against lands as well, because it stops Croson Grip, which nothing else does.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I would consider lands to be a fair matchup for this deck. I wouldn't consider it to be a combo one.
No.
We're playing the Thopter Spy network. You and I talked about this before we started playing recording, just because it's need to play it. Just need to play this card.
Yeah, we just wanted to try it basically.
It was cut from one of our friends playing the deck. He didn't think it was very good, and he's probably correct.
Yeah, I don't think it's very good either, but it is hella fun. So
there we go. Now onto the artifacts. Bringing in these seem pretty standard. 3 crypts. We can go and search those up with our trinket mages, and we can blow up all of the awful Grizzlebrands that are coming out of graveyards. Or when people have Emeracles and we use our Painter Servant Grindstone combo, we can exile their Emrakul in response to its shuffle back in trigger, which I think is probably
because otherwise important. you can't combo against Emrakul. Although people do sometimes just scoop. Like I've had people scoop with triggers on stack, which I don't really understand. But
okay, fair enough.
Hey,
Walking Ballista.
great against death and taxes, basically. It also comes in against, or you can bring it against Delver.
Yeah,
Delver,
I'd like to
answers,
do that. Yeah.
It answers Pyromancer. It answers unflip Delvers or flip Delvers if you put it on X=2.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just removal that scales, which is quite cool, and it's tutorable by Trinket Mage. So.
And we can recur Academy Ruins.
Huge. Yeah.
That in fact was one of my sideboard plans in a Ruglands deck, was Walking Ballista, Academy Ruins, recur this forever, and make a million guy and blow them up with it. It was okay. It was okay. Good against Jace. Spellskite I seems pretty obvious. We can return all the removal that's aimed at Painter Servant or Grindstone onto the Spellskite. Yeah. If it's a Lightning Bolt, then our Spellskite will survive. It's going to help him burn, I imagine, matchups.
Yeah, helps him burn against Infect.
It's a kind of counter for Abrupt Decay as well, I suppose.
Exactly.
Third bridge is good. We can talk about that. And the Spyglass, another one for the combo matchups. What do you think? Would you say you name most often with Spyglass?
What do I name most often? Probably Gristlebrand.
Okay, interesting.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Planeswalkers as well. Stuff like Chandra against red decks.
I mean, you got one answer. Deathrite. It seems like Deathrite might be the one to go. I can imagine things like Sneak Attack often with this, but
true, Sneak Attack as well. Sneak Attack is a big one. No, Deathrite tends to be because like if you get a bridge down, Deathrite will be some decks only out against that. So naming Deathrite is good there.
You can lock them out entirely. All right. Well, we've taken up 16 minutes of the good viewers' time, so we'll stop this video and get on with the next one and start the league. Hope you
Excellent.
Stay for the next one. Cheers.